Throughout the 1970s, Bowie was constantly experimenting with different musical styles and working with different groups of musicians to get vastly different results from the last album. And one of his most rewarding junctures was the 1975 release Young Americans that displayed his newfound love for the sounds of Philadelphia. And from that album, the Quiet Storm ballad, When. Beautiful wah-wah chords, major sevenths. That keyboard mixed with sax right there, just that, the way it comes just perforating. Ah, beautiful. The way those slides, those guitar, like, and one person I read described this piece, says that he bought the album when it came out and he had a fish aquarium in his room, and he would play the song and see the fish floating around and like the bubbles in the water, and it was like the that like perforating like keyboard sax part always reminds him of that of that pond, and he thinks of like, he visualizes fish every time he hears it. His vocals have definitely taken on a more soulful character on this album than on previous efforts. Slow down, let someone love you. Hear him just like really putting all this emphasis in certain syllables. And I've never touched you since I started to feel. He's really trying to belt it out from a deeper register than on earlier albums. If there's nothing to hide me, and you never seen me hanging naked and white. Somebody lied. I say it's to be alive. Me, I hope that I'm crazy. I feel you driving and you're only the wheel. Slow down, let someone love you. Oh, I've never touched you since I started to feel. Huh. Oh, I've never touched you since I started to feel. If there's nothing to hide me, then you've never seen me hanging naked and wired. These lyrics are very intriguing and rather oblique. Somebody lied. I say it's hip to be alive. That's been a poll quote. Magazine, let's see, The Face, this UK New Romantic, this magazine that's spun from the New Romantic culture. Used that as a poll quote once in an article about the soul boy scene, which they credited this album as having been a forerunner to. Yeah, I'm still trying to parse a few lines here. Then you've never seen me. Let's see. Okay. Slow down, let someone love you. I've never touched you since I started to feel. So I'm still trying to get that, like, this person has just gotten in touch with himself in new ways and hasn't yet connected outward sense making that revelation. If there's nothing to hide me, then you've never seen me hanging naked and wired. Bit of a mixed metaphor, seems. Now your smile is spreading thin. Seems you're trying not to lose. Since I'm not supposed to be. All you've got to do is win. That real low register he goes in there, really deep. His voice is unmistakable, but that is like an area of his that I haven't really heard mimicked by the singers that took after him. Like I've said in other videos how his pained delivery, like on 1984, became very influential on the new wave generation. I haven't really heard anyone quite like the way he delivers, particularly the line, "All you've got to do is win." Yeah, as a matter of fact, I don't think I'm trying to think off the top of my head of other songs in which he's gone into that register. That's all you gotta do. You know what? I think that like that sax keyboard part makes me think of is, I'm just picturing lights. I'm picturing like sunny lights, like beaming through, like a sunset tropical resort. Fresh on your pages. I'm thinking of like sunset. I'm thinking of like the sun setting down over water. You know, that really deep orange, like reflecting on the water, is kind of what I'm picturing now. Secret thinkers sometimes listening around. Life lies dumb on its heroes. Where the moon was under makes someone proud. Those little tiny wiggles of saxophone by David Sanborn coming out of the speaker is just those like walls of lush major seventh chords, like just beam like rays out of the speaker and like just across the whole thing, you know, amid his voice. Someone like you should not be allowed to start any fires. That line has always stood out. Let's see. Me, I'm fresh on your pages. Secret thinker, sometimes listening aloud. Life lies dumb on its heroes. Listening aloud is that's an interesting metaphor. We all know what thinking aloud means. What would would listening aloud be constantly interrupting the other person when you're supposed to be listening to them? Constantly interjecting as you promising to listen to someone and then proceeding to constantly interject on their between every clause, me, I'm fresh on your pages. Would that mean new in someone's life? Life lies dumb on its heroes. Perhaps meaning that heroes constantly disappoint. There's a line in Steve Strange's autobiography where he says, or where he quotes this. I first saw it from him, though. He was quoting, he says, they say that you should, or he kind of anonymizes it, but he says, they say that you should never meet your heroes. he was referring to some film director that he had always admired, and he had him direct one of his videos and ended up kind of disappointed by the guy's attitude when he met him in person. Wear your wound with honor, make someone proud. Wear your wound with honor. That exists in certain cultures. They say that it exists in like lion culture, like the big cats, like if big male cats, when they get like a tooth knocked out, it's seen as like a battle. It's a battle scar of honor. Someone like you should not be allowed to start any fires. That's really evocative. And fire, of course, could be a metaphor for, I'm thinking maybe like the woman's really hot, or she's a heartbreaker, maybe. Maybe she's a man-eater who leaves like broken hearts in her wake. And the fire of lust that she creates, and then the fire of passion. Someone that she's just so hot, such a heartbreaker that she shouldn't be allowed to go around breaking hearts. That's how I've kind of always imagined that line to mean. Now your smile is spreading thin. Seems you try not to lose. Seems I'm not supposed to bring. All you've got to do is win. Love those female vocals, sung by, let's see, yeah, I was thinking, is it Ava Cherry, or, yeah, she's here, and Robin Clark, and Luther Vandross is credited as backing vocals, although I don't really hear him here, per se. To probe into the chorus a bit more, now your smile is spreading thin, I'm thinking that maybe a woman who had been giving him a wild time is going cool on him and is pulling away from him, like it's about to end. Seems you're trying not to lose. It's like I don't know, maybe she wants to break up with him before he breaks up with her so that she has the upper hand on the breakup. Since I'm not supposed to grin. So he's acknowledging that this isn't really, it wouldn't be a dignified thing to act as though he's happy with this. All you've got to do is win. Acknowledging that she might win, if that she's going to be the winner if she like dumps him before he dumps her. I feel, going back to that earlier line, I feel you driving and you're only the wheel. So she knows how to take things in directions, but not how to keep things actually going forward. She knows turns better than she knows, or she knows detours, or she just knows how to kind of spin the car, but not really. Slow down, let someone love you. I guess the more I read this, the more I'm seeing this as a woman a freewheeling woman of the 70s who doesn't really love men as much as they love her. Putting a lot more emphasis into it this time. Since I'm not supposed to win, all you've got to do is win. That's all I gotta do. Just hearing these little like luminous, like harmonic tone keyboard lines, dun dun, like that. him trade off lines with those women, and the way they interject certain key lines, and the way their voices just kind of like ooze right between his turns at the mic.
Not supposed to grin. That's all you gotta do. All you've got to do is win.
Those little thin, rich, warm, like lead lines, like very simple, like down, and then David Sanborn's like just little like wiggly, trebly sax lines coming out of here, and it just creates such tonal color amid the like beaming rays of like keyboard in like major seventh, beautiful. Those 70s quiet storm arrangements, when they find the right key center, it's like I could just like immerse myself in it for like hours at a time. Now he's starting to like ad-lib and just repeat certain words as the guitar plays. It throws in a few more notes. That coda in a different chord than we've heard elsewhere. Ah, beautiful. That is When by David Bowie from the triumphant 1975 release Young Americans, recorded mostly in like Philadelphia. Parts of it were this song was recorded in New York. It was recorded in a few different places. Yeah, this and the song Fascination, another great album track on here, were recorded at the record plant in New York. So I actually don't know. Maybe the rest of it was recorded at Sigma Sound Studios in Philadelphia. It's ironic how one of the most Philly tracks on here was one of the exceptions to the Philly recording place of the album. The cast on this album that I haven't already mentioned, let's see, Carlos Alomar on guitar, Mike Garson piano, Earl Slick guitar, and that pretty much does it. And the ones I've mentioned already, backing vocals and such, and sax. This album should only be owned if it's a copy that includes the two missing tracks, Who Can I Be Now? And It's Gonna Be Me, one of the best songs from the whole sessions. Unfortunately dropped. Those two were dropped to make room for the two Bowie collaborations. If I was to make one change, I would swipe out the cover of Across the Universe for It's Gonna Be Me. And then you have a perfect album. And of course, John I'm Only Dancing is great. If that could be like tacked on there as well. But yeah, the lush beauty of like tracks like this. Other tracks take on kind of a funkier tone. But yeah, this album is like one of a kind in his catalog, and could be, I guess, kind of like a gateway for like Bowie fans unfamiliar with, say, like the world of like Tom Bell produced smooth soul, like the Stylistics and Blue Magic, Ace Spectrum, bands like that. It's a beautiful world of music, and I cover it from time to time on this channel, and you can like come across the whole wide world of it, like on the directory of directory of albums by American soul artists, which is on the my main page, link for my main page. And for more rubies and sapphires from this Bowie album and just about all of his albums, see the directory of albums by English D artists, linked in the description below. And like and subscribe and leave a comment if there's any points that you would like to add to this and any unique observations you have that you'd like to share. And follow me on social media to know when the next video is coming out and share the video. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.